Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fantastic guide by Coach Adolfo Salguero, titled 5 Habits of a Resilient Runner. If you're currently juggling a busy career, a family, social obligations, and somehow still trying to squeeze in the miles to hit your running goals, well, you know exactly how chaotic it can feel. Coach Salguero has broken down exactly how to navigate that chaos, and we're going to break down his strategy step by step so you can finally find your stride.
Right off the bat, who is this actually for? Look, if you're an elite athlete and your literal full-time job is training for the Olympics, honestly, you can probably tune out right now. Your life is entirely structured around your sport. But if you're an everyday runner, meaning running is your passion, your daily escape, your health plan, or your social club, this explainer is absolutely for you. For us, running pays the mental bills, but our actual lives and responsibilities absolutely must take priority.
And because our daily lives take priority, something incredibly predictable happens. We stagnate, we hit a wall, and get totally frustrated. Why? Because we end up overlooking the basic, foundational aspects of our daily routines that really should be ingrained habits by now. When life inevitably gets crazy, the very first things to slip are the basics. And failing to maintain that foundation is exactly what keeps us stuck in a rut.
The science behind fixing that frustration actually comes down to one specific number: 66. There's this truly fascinating 2010 study from University College London that found it takes an average of 66 days of continuous repetition for a behavior to become a fully automated habit. Think about that for a second. You literally have to perform an action repeatedly for roughly 2 solid months before your brain stops requiring conscious effort to do it. It takes real work, but once it's locked in, you become a far more resilient runner.
To make this super clear, we can group Coach Salguero's 5 habits into 3 distinct phases. Phase 1 is the foundation, basically the crucial mental and physical prep that happens before you even step out the front door.
True prep is all about removing friction. Step 1, set the goal. Every single workout has a purpose: recovery, speed, endurance, and knowing what you want to accomplish beforehand is huge. Step 2, fuel the body. Step 3, prep the gear. Coach Salguero hits the nail on the head here. The absolute worst time to figure out what your workout is, or to suddenly realize you haven't eaten in 12 hours or scramble for a dry shirt, is when you're literally standing in the driveway waiting for your GPS watch to connect. Preparation is the ultimate key.
Once that foundation is rock solid, we hit phase 2, the physical execution. And this brings us right to a vital habit: mastering your breath. The exact moment you start running, your body goes into a massive shock. I mean, your oxygen demand literally multiplies by 15 to 20 times its resting rate. To put that in perspective, that massive spike is exactly why a proper warm-up is so absolutely critical to the rest of your run.
So, how do we manage that crazy oxygen spike? You have to automate your breathing. The coach specifically recommends settling into a controlled 3-2 breathing rhythm. Basically, you take 3 steps as you inhale and 2 steps as you exhale. Why the specific odd-even pattern? Well, it continuously alternates which foot strikes the ground when you exhale. Since exhaling is actually the most physically vulnerable part of your breathing cycle, distributing that impact evenly across both sides of your body is a total game changer for preventing injury.
Okay, so your gear is prepped, your breathing is locked into a nice 3-2 rhythm, and the run is humming along. Now we enter phase 3, the mental battleground. This is where we focus on winning the mental game.
Let's start with a brutal little reality check about why we're out there. We live in an era of instant gratification, right? Apps like Strava and Instagram. Well, Coach Salguero poses this amazing experiment. Try skipping a post. Seriously, go for a run, maybe even 2, and just don't post the data online. Then, count exactly how many of your online friends actually text you to see if you're okay. Spoiler alert, it's probably going to be 0.
And you know what? That is incredibly liberating. Once you realize just how trivial the whole social media performance aspect of your run actually is, you can strip away that pressure of instant visible results. It lets you refocus your energy on your real long-term goals. Running is a long game, folks. Real improvement happens quietly in the background, not in the comments section.
Now, as you push through that long game, it's gonna get tough. Both elite and everyday runners deal with the exact same negative thoughts. You know the ones. I can't do this, or I'm totally falling apart. But resilient athletes make it a habit to consciously intercept those thoughts. They swap them for a productive reframe, like, I've handled this before, or just, hey, get to the next mile. Notice it's not about ignoring the pain. It's simply about choosing thoughts that actually help your performance rather than tanking it. And that brings us to the ultimate mental habit, embracing failure. If you run long enough, you're going to have bad races. You will miss goals. It's completely inevitable. But it is so vital to recognize that these aren't signs of a lack of talent. When things go sideways, don't make excuses. Look honestly at what happened, grab the lesson, and apply it. The most successful athletes don't just avoid failure. They literally use it as fuel for their future success.
Let's tie this whole shebang together. The 5 core conducts. Prep your gear before you step out. Focus on long-term improvement over instant applause. Embrace failure as a learning tool. Actively reframe your self-talk and master those breathing patterns. Now sure, for some of us these might seem incredibly obvious, but trust me, seasoned runners fail at these every single day. Not because they're lazy, but because life gets absolutely chaotic, stress spikes, and these absolute basics just haven't been fully automated yet.
Remember, it takes roughly 66 days of continuous, purposeful behavior for a habit to truly take root. You've got to build that foundation when the weather is calm, so the house is still standing when the storm hits. So, I want to leave you with this thought today. When life inevitably gets in the way this week, and it will, are your habits rooted deep enough to keep you moving forward? Pick just one of these 5 areas today, commit to the repetition, and start automating your resilience.